What's up, hello? I hope you all are doing well. It is June now here in the United States, and that means that the summer is coming, and as the summer approaches, we buy books, right? That's how the saying goes. There's a saying that says that. There must be something somewhere that says that. Ordinarily, I am not a book purchaser. However, in the last few weeks, it has been so nice that I've been taking some journeys to a few of the different bookstores around the region and discovering that there are things that are coming home with me. I will say most of the books I've purchased in the last few weeks have been gifts for other people because I really like to be ahead and on schedule of gift giving for upcoming holidays and birthdays. But there are a few that have come home with me, and there are 4 that I want to talk about today that I think are nice additions to my shelf. So the first that I've picked up in my recent travels is Malcolm Gladwell's Talking to Strangers. I didn't actually buy this book. This was given to me by one of my colleagues who was just cleaning out the shelves because she has 2 very young children and there's a lot of books in that house right now. So this was one of the ones to go. I have heard this praised by several people in my own life, as well as in the press, in reviews, here on BookTube, and if I'm not wrong, I also think that Malcolm Gladwell has recently, within the last couple of years, been criticized for something, but I'm not totally up to date on that whole business, so I could be speaking wildly off base. Anyway, this is a very well-known work at this point. It was published in 2019, and the book itself discusses the things that we need to think about when we talk to people who we don't know, and how we as a society presently aren't particularly well equipped to speak to people who are strangers. And notably, this book was published in 2019, and in the time since then, with the social isolation brought on by the pandemic and just impressive political tension and division, I think this is going to be very different reading it now than if I had read it when it was originally published. So I'm looking forward to this. It's going up on the nonfiction shelf up there, which is starting to warp a little bit despite how new this bookcase is. So we'll see when I get there with it. If you've read this book and have particular thoughts about it, I would love to hear what they are, because I've heard a lot of varied opinions at this point in time about this book in particular. The next book I got is this beautiful signed first edition, The 7 or 8 Deaths of Stella Fortuna by Juliet Grams, or perhaps Grames. This is a book set right on the precipice of the Second World War. It is about a family in a rural village in Italy and how the many deaths that have come up in Stella's life have shaped her. Eventually the family does immigrate to the United States, and it's kind of set in their present day life in Connecticut, but it is about the way that this person deals with having so much death in her life, and the way that her family perceives her as kind of being haunted by death, and like in the idea that she must be cursed because people keep dying all around her. After having read a couple of the first pages and the back, like you kind of get like a family dynamic, and y'all know I love a family dynamic story, and I anticipate this will kind of be darkly humorous. Don't know why, just feel like that's what's gonna happen, but I'm most honestly excited about the map that is in the front, because we all love a book with a map, but particularly I love a book with a map. So looking forward to that being on the end paper and having that to refer to. Also, it's just beautiful. Like, this is nicely textured. It's a dark looking, heavy book that looks nice on the shelf as well. So a little bit of this, I picked this up because I liked the cover. Then I read the name, and then I was like, yep, this is one that's going to come home. So we will see. I've never heard of this book before. If you have, let me know. Let me know what you think. I'll be keen to hear other people's perspectives on it before I read it myself. Shortly after that, I picked up something smaller, which also has a fantastic cover, but in a different way. Goodbye Vitamin by Rachel Khong. And look how beautiful that is. It's like fun and exciting. This book actually reminds me a lot of Beck's because it's brightly colored and kind of poppy, and those are lemons, I believe, but it looks like polka dots. This is a story of a young woman who's just turned 30. She's recently broken apart from her fiance, so she's unengaged, and she moves home to live with her family, or at least goes to visit her family rather, and they are struggling with her father's loss of memory. And so once again, yet another family drama. I'm excited to get into this. It's quite short. It's only, I think, 100 and something pages, almost 200, just shy of 200 pages. And it looks like it's sort of written by dates in a chronological fashion. So the text is also pretty small within the frame. It's got quite large margins, is what I'm trying to say. So it seems like this will be a quick read. I had heard about this, I think, in ads, probably either from Picador or just around the internet, and it's obviously got a very eye-catching front to it. So it came home with me, and we will see what it's about. It's one of those books where I said to myself, do I really need to have this? Like, do I need to own this? Could I not just get this from the library and then not be stuck with it afterward? If it's just like, okay, and I feel like I'm never going to read it again. But there was something about the brightness of this cover that I just really wanted to have. So I suppose you could say this was a cover buy, but the description of the book itself sounds good too. And it's nice to actually be picking up a short book, because the previous two that we just discussed were hardcover and quite heavy and quite thick. And so this being just shy of 200 pages will sort of be a nice palate cleansing short opportunity for when that time comes around. And then lastly, I found a used copy of Once Upon a River by Diane Setterfeld. This book is one that was recommended by Jean from Jean's Thoughts, Jean Menzies, Dr. Jean Menzies now, actually, on her channel at the beginning of the Femme Fantail readathon, which I am pretty sure was in March of 2018, perhaps March of 2019. I don't quite remember. There were a couple, and this was on my TBR for that readathon. It was a fantasy readathon that had books predominantly written by women or featuring women, and this is one of them. I checked this book out of the library 2 or 3 times since then. I didn't get to it during the readathon. I didn't get to it the second time I checked it out. I didn't get to it the third time I checked it out. So for $7.50, I figured I could own a copy and read it at my own pace and not be beholden about having to get it back to the library. So as far as I can tell, this book combines folklore and science and magic and fantasy, and we all know how I feel about magical realism, so we'll see how all of those pieces kind of come together. But I am getting the impression, just from having read the description on the back, that there's like a young girl, like a baby, who comes back to life at the edge of a river, and then like we all have to kind of figure out who she is, and the people around her figure that out. I almost want to say that the hardcover version of this book has a giant swan on the cover, but I could be making that up. I don't know why I think that. Maybe it's just the way that the river is done in this illustration, but in my head, I'm stuck on this being the swan book, and there must be a good reason for that. So we'll have to, obviously I have to read it and see, but I've heard really great things about this book. I really trust Jean's opinion, and if you have read this, let me know what you think, because at some point I will read it. I assume this will go into the collection of books that I'm like, I'm gonna read that one day, and then it just kind of sits for a while and I float along without reading it. So we'll have to see how this all shakes out, but I'm keen to hear what other people think, because I do trust Jean, and she always has given great opinions, particularly when it comes to fantasy, which is not one of my great areas of expertise. So yeah, let me know what you think, if you think this book was worth the $7.50 I paid for it. So that's all. That's all 4 books. Get back there that I've hauled. Quite a small haul, I guess, but if you know me and you've watched our channel for a while, you know that generally I don't buy books that come home. So this is a collection over the course of many months now, and it's only 4. If you have comments about any of the titles here, please do leave them. I would love to hear more about them. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you're having lovely weeks and lovely lives, and of course, we will see you very soon.